Hi! The second to last song on my album, What Have I Forgotten? And in the book is called Through the Looking Glass. And this was originally the title of this album, but I decided I needed to name it What Have I Forgotten because that was much more inclusive about this whole soul retrieval that this record is about. So please enjoy this 30-second excerpt. This song is really about what you see is who you are. And when you look inward and what you find often matches what you find when you look outward. And remember, come back so that I can read to you from the chapter in the book.
Isn't it fascinating what you see when all you see?
I hope you enjoyed that excerpt of Through the Looking Glass. I'm going to read to you now from the associated chapter. This is the first song I conceived of for this record, and in fact, the original title of this album was Through the Looking Glass, until I realized it wasn't. I came about this song in a very roundabout way, thinking that I wanted to write an epilogue to Grace Slick's masterpiece, White Rabbit, but for our age. And of course, the epilogue to White Rabbit has to be Through the Looking Glass. I consider our age to be epitomized by the internet and uninterrupted mobile access to information, news, and social media, amplifying and mirroring society's inherent narcissism. But as the song began to expose itself to me, it wanted it to be shifted from a social commentary to being a more personal one. Then, when the song What Have I Forgotten showed up, immediately after this one did, followed by all of the others in this collection, it became clear that Through the Looking Glass was a completion of the theme of what this entire album is about. And the title of the album became What Have I Forgotten? Even more surprisingly, Through the Looking Glass turned out to represent the ultimate final conjunction phase of the spiritual alchemy journey that the material in this album ended up outlining, unbeknownst to me at the time. I still, to this moment, can't quite comprehend how that happened, other than perhaps I was being directed from a very deep and yet to be exposed place within myself, the very definition of occult, the very definition of magic. We began our journey scrying into our black mirror and crossing the liminal boundaries to initiate our spiritual alchemy. And we end it by looking into a mirror of ourselves and the world around us in order to understand both. Everywhere are echoes that show me who I am, like this phone that whispers legends and breathes tales right in my hand. I'm the hero, the champion, living in this fictive land. Isn't it fascinating? What I see is who I am. With the current AI that curates our content right into the palms of our hands, the boundaries between what is real and fiction easily become blurred. Alternative facts and revisionism create new worlds of subjective reality in what used to be considered objective reality. As above, so below. As within, so without. The oft-used quote, "We don't see things as they are, we see them as we are," has unknown origins, but becomes even more apt in the face of this. Who are we, really? How much of who we are is derived from what we are fed to believe about ourselves and our external stimulus, versus being truly original? One of the main points of the great work and magic is to know thyself, which according to legend was carved into the stone at the entrance to Apollo's temple at Delphi in Greece. The whole reason to intentionally move through all the steps from calcination to conjunction is to dredge up your true, essential, transmuted self, your own spiritual gold. In fact, Sir Isaac Newton spent more time studying alchemy than he did physics, and completed his own translation of the Emerald Tablet in 1680. But he also kept it secret, for he felt that humankind was not ready for such truths. But I presume that you are. And so that's why I'm writing this book to accompany the album. I hope you enjoyed this excerpt. I hope you're enjoying all of the excerpts. And thank you so much for being here. Stay tuned for more.